Hello there, this is Ryan and I welcome you to this episode on the history of the city of El Paso, Texas. El Paso, Texas, founded as El Paso del Norte, now known as Ciudad Juarez, in 1682 is located on the far west tip of present-day Texas, border with Mexico and the state of Chihuahua, along the banks of the Rio Grande. Spaniards exploring the area named the small settlement El Paso del Norte based on its location and geographical description. They saw two mountain ranges on opposite sides of the Rio Grande, and founded a gateway for trade to the north. Before the Spaniards, there had been various native settlements in the area, such as the Manso, Suma, Jumano, Mescalero Apache and later Tigua tribes. These natives roamed the area and recognized certain areas as sacred, such as Hueco Tanks. Spanish explorers explored the area as early as 1535. These were Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca, then later Francisco Vázquez de Coronado. Later expeditions that founded this settlement include the Rodriguez-Sanchez expedition, Juan de Oñate expedition. The Juan de Oñate expedition was the one responsible for officially claiming the area as Spanish territory. Fray Garcia founded the iconic Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe mission south of the Rio Grande, which stands today in downtown Ciudad Juarez. This started an era of Spanish colonization and building of many missions. Some of these missions include the Socorro, Isleta, and San Lazario missions. The Pueblo Indian Revolt brought the Tigua Indians down to the banks of the Rio Grande, and adopted Spanish beliefs and culture. By the middle of the 18th century, around 5,000 people lived in the El Paso area, who lived off plantations off the banks of the river. In 1821, the El Paso area became part of the Mexican Republic, thus flourishing commerce and development to the area. Later changes in the river's banks, and conflicts between the United States and Mexico, ended with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. The treaty consisted of the United States buying a huge area what is now Texas, New Mexico, California, most of Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and Nevada for $15 million. This set a national boundary following the Rio Grande, the Colorado River and the Gila River. El Paso del Norte was now a border town separated into two cities, El Paso del Norte and El Paso, Texas. With California's gold rush, new settlements were added to the area, such as Frontera, Magoffinsville, Concordia and the claiming of Socorro, Isleta and San Lazario as towns in American territory. The main settlement in the northern part of the river became known as Coons Rancho, later Franklin. In this town, the county of El Paso was settled, thus changing its name to the city of El Paso, with the county seat in San Lazario. A military post was also established towards northeast of El Paso, known as Fort Bliss in 1854. Pioneers such as Anson Mills designed the city of El Paso. Many people became confused of the two border towns since they had the same name, until El Paso del Norte was renamed Ciudad Juarez in 1888. During the Civil War, much of the population remained sympathetic towards Mexico, and Fort Bliss was taken over by Confederate troops in 1861. The post soon started to turn in favor of the Union, and the American flag was raised once again. Fort Bliss had been shut down temporarily, while the area witnessed its own civil war, U.S. versus Mexico. This was settled with the reopening of Fort Bliss. With the arrival of railroads in 1881 and 82, El Paso went from a rather small, dusty town made up of adobe homes into a flourishing city with more than 10,000 inhabitants by 1890. As the city of El Paso continued to grow, it also became the original Sin City, with many saloons, dance halls, gambling, prostitution houses and crime that plagued the streets. This remained until 1905, when city officials finally made changes to close houses of gambling and prostitution, thus reducing crime. As the city went into the 1900s, El Paso was beginning to look like a modern municipality and a center for industry, commerce and transportation. Refugees fleeing from the Mexican Revolution significantly boosted the population of the city. Its geographic location attracted mining companies such as the Kansas City Smelting and Refining Company, which later became the American Smelting and Refining Company, ASARCO. The construction of the Elephant Butte Dam in New Mexico helped improve water distribution of the Rio Grande to the area. Other big gas and oil companies such as Standard Oil Company of Texas, Chevron, and Texaco moved into the area, improving the economy. Fort Bliss greatly contributed to the development of El Paso, improving its economy and population. Textiles, tourism, mining, construction, oil refining and food processing became El Paso's specialties. By 1980, companies such as Tony Lama Boot Company and Farah Incorporated boosted the city's economy. As for education, an elementary school was established, as well as a high school in 1885. The State School of Mines and Metallurgy was founded in 1914, which later became the Texas Western College in 1949, and now known as the University of Texas at El Paso. El Paso founded its college system, first known as the College of the City of El Paso in 1918, then renamed El Paso Junior College in 1920, and now known as El Paso Community College. El Paso and Ciudad Juarez have always had a special relationship, recognized as the largest borderplex in the southern United States border. The population of El Paso varied throughout the years, from 100,000 in 1930, down to 90,000 in the 1940s, then back up to 130,000 in the 1950s, 270,000 in the 60s, 340,000 in the 70s, 425,000 in the 80s, 515,000 in the 90s, 563,000 in 2000 and around 800,000 in 2017. El Paso's population had always been dominated by Hispanics, with small percentages of African American, Anglo, Asian, and more. Today, El Paso is a very colorful city full of life, a blend of border, military, Texan and Southwestern feeling. Special credit given to the Texas State Historical Association for this valuable information. Stay tuned for more facts with Ryan videos and make sure to subscribe to Mr. Randomness.